Back with more Once Upon a Time. This is episode 16 of season 5. Very excited to see what's going to happen next. Last episode we had some focus on Hook and his brother Liam, kind of giving a little send-off to that character as well. He kind of moved on to the next place, exploring that kind of relationship and who Hook really thought his brother was versus who he may actually have been, and all of that kind of stuff, which I really enjoyed the focus on. And very interestingly, even if I can learn how to speak, we ended off with Hades showing that he has some kind of connection to Zelina. They have a little bit of a secret, so hopefully we're going to explore that now. I feel like it would be weird to not even at least continue to explore that a bit, ending it off with the last episode. But, sometimes they will just focus on a different character and then circle back round to it. But yeah, I hope that's kind of going to be what we're focusing on in this time. But who can say? Either way, I'm sure they've got some interesting stuff for us to kind of explore, because I'm liking where this arc's going. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive into the next one. Is that Scarecrow? Oh, hello. Oh.
Didn't I send you back to Kansas?
Oh, that's unfortunate.
You must tell me where you want this portal directed. Oh. Why, Storybook, of course.
That bodes well.
Everything's fine. No, it's not.
Oh.
Selena. You really are a clever girl.
She wants her kid. Don't endanger the baby, she says, grabbing it and jumping into a portal.
Hades wants your baby. Hand her over.
Hmm.
Who the hell are you?
Who the hell am I? That question is more appropriate than you know. Allow me to introduce myself. But she has one thing you don't. The love of the people. And pardon me for saying so, but no one loves you.
Well.
There is a way to defeat her.
And what does Hades need with a time travel spell?
All in good time, Selena.
Especially with a time travel spell.
You're thinking about Neil. I do too, all the time.
If only we could talk to him, if he could just hear our voice. Oh, you can do that.
I just woke up and had it done.
Okay. It's really well written. Yes, and the illustrations are lovely.
Hmm.
Maybe we can focus harder.
Oh. Supportive mums.
I didn't come alone. Who else is here? Oh, baby. And she's in danger.
And also Belle, by the way.
Is it your birthday?
I didn't know the king of the underworld was so nosy. I don't know the day I was born, but thank you for reminding me.
That's actually a sad story. My older brother is a god. Zeus. Ever hear of him? He got everything.
I have, actually.
He rules Mount Olympus while I'm trapped. The kiss of true love can restart my heart and allow me to return a fully formed man,
Oh.
free of this curse.
Is she going to be his true love?
Money.
I can find her. I looked for years in the forest. I can track anyone.
A baby?
What are you doing here?
I died.
You're not.
No, no.
I made a deal to give up my second-born child.
No, you don't have a second-born child.
Surprise.
I'm pregnant?
Save some money on the test.
You see, the thing is,
I'm a bit of a dick.
I love this dagger. And I also love you. Both are possible. Look, you wanted me to be...
Both aren't necessary though, are they?
You fell in love with me because it was a man and the beast. Neither exists without the other.
Okay.
No.
Sure, just say it's Belle's fault for falling in love with you. That's fine.
You'll see.
Still wouldn't be ideal though, would it?
I don't even know if the
the messages get through. I hope so. Or I've wasted a lot of time these past 30 years.
Oh, damn.
I thought all I needed was my vengeance to keep me warm at night. But then something happened. My enemies became my family.
Not even just her friends.
What the hell is that?
Right, they don't have these in Oz.
Uh,
It's called a bicycle.
How is that contraption going to help us find the scarecrow?
I understand this reference. Oh, when I started this show, I wasn't expecting to see Wicked Witch of the West and Hades riding a bike.
No, I'm helping. It's all right, Belle. She won't hurt anyone.
Fine. As soon as she's done, you're on her back.
Imagine if she just turns and legs it. Oh dear.
Now, Selena. No, sis. Not now. Not ever. We went through this with you for all those years.
Hmm,
You just heard our voices.
that's true.
Would that have made a difference?
It's tough to do that again. Oh,
Oh no, it's okay. Let Mummy fix it.
does she get zapped?
I did this.
It's almost as if legging it with a baby was a bad idea.
I've seen really powerful women in my day, but none as brilliantly wicked as you. Or clever, or witty, beautiful.
Back off, Witch. You're not taking him from me. Yes, I will. What'd you do?
No, no, no!
Oh god.
He wants to use her for a spell. For my time travel spell. You can protect her. I can't. My magic's unpredictable. I don't care if you never let me see her again. You have to save her, Regina, please.
Aww.
It's more important than what happens to me.
Now she's getting it. That's some progress.
Everything we can. Mummy has to let you go.
Oh, to give her her best chance, like... And she got abandoned too. Aww. I mean, she brought some of it on herself, but it is quite sad.
Robin's taking her to the forest.
Honestly, it's the only place I've ever felt really at home. It happened.
It's Neil.
Did he hear
Why
you?
did you write this? It's like before.
Instead, he heard the voices of his mother, Snow White, and his
Ah.
father, Prince Charming. They sang a lullaby until he fell asleep as soundly as if he were in their arms. He heard us.
Awesome.
We can save ourselves. We're going to take down Hades, and we're going to do it now.
Oh, I don't know, he's looking particularly evil this evening.
My heart fluttered. Just for a moment.
Should see a doctor about that.
I truly believe once we kiss, my heart will start again.
And then you'll have the power to steal this brain and enact my time travel spell. For you! And only you!
Oh.
Because that's what I would do.
No, I don't want that anymore. I want you. I love you.
Is this sincere?
No one can love me.
Oh boy.
But if you did, you would want to take away my best chance of revenge.
You will regret this, Selena.
Sending Rumpelstiltskin after my daughter had nothing to do with revenge on your brother.
Selena, I was trying to rescue her from those miserable heroes for you. I didn't know you were there.
Oh.
I mean, aren't you curious why this place looks like Storybrooke?
I was Hades.
I did it for you. I saw how much you wanted to cast the dark curse to get everything your sister had. I gave you what you wanted, what she had. It's not
Oh.
perfect. Despite my best intentions, things don't grow here. They decay. But it's our decay.
How romantic.
And I gave them back my baby because I thought that you wanted to hurt her.
Well, then we'll just have to go back and get her, won't we?
Oh no. Oh, heck.
No, I will get my daughter back. But I'll do it all on my own.
April 15th.
Is that her birthday?
What?
Your birthday. I'll be waiting for you. At home. Just like I always have.
Damn. Now she's kind of left with the choice, I guess. Does she earn it, or does she just take it with power? Oh my. Okay, really good episode. I'm glad we did kind of focus on the connection between Hades and Zelina. It actually kind of tied into Hades as a character and like his motivations for everything a lot more than I was expecting. So I did really enjoy exploring that, and the fact that there seems to be something there between them, certainly on Hades' side as well. And I don't know if there was going to be like a twist to the tale and he's just actually faking still being in love with her or whatever for his own gains. I don't know if that is going to be what it is. And he's like, now I can actually get my revenge because I've convinced you. But the fact that it has been so long since they've seen each other and he's still kind of keeping this up probably makes me think that he is genuine in his love for her. And the fact that the underworld looks like Storybook because he made it in that image so she could have everything Regina had. I think that's kind of a cool explanation for why that was. Obviously, the real reason is so they can use the same set. But I like that there was the proper story reason for it, tying that into it. I think that was quite clever. And I think that pairing actually makes a lot of sense. The fact that they were on like similar quests to try and gain everything that their sibling had and they never got. So I like that kind of bonded them through that, and seeing their little quests to get the brain from the Scarecrow. That was fun as well, and a little appearance from him to make the time travel spell. So it also ties into, you know, all of Zelina's motives in season 3. That was really cool. I like how they kind of explored that. And it's something that's continuing on into the present day story. And Zelina's kind of lack of self-confidence, her lack of self-belief, which comes from being the abandoned baby, I suppose. The fact that she never got anything she felt that she deserved, it's going to make you think that, am I enough? Like, what did I do wrong to not get this life like my sister had? And that spurns into, well, you know, my mother abandoned me, she didn't love me, no one can ever love me. That's why she was so against the idea that Hades might have been in love with her. And then that's going to be escalated even further in the Storybook stuff where she accidentally hurt the baby with her magic. And now Hades coming forward to her again saying exactly this is why he's been doing all of this, and it's not for his revenge, it's for her still, even after all this time. And while she wants to believe that, you know, she's just seen kind of her own mistakes that she's just made, and, you know, it might be an idea that she doesn't want to keep making those mistakes. She kind of realised that maybe, you know, her child's best chance is with Robin and Regina right now. And if she is going to kind of be able to see her baby regularly again, she needs to kind of earn that and do it on by her, you know, by herself and through her own means, which doesn't necessarily mean violence and kidnapping and everything. It's a very complicated situation because it is her kid, and I think, you know, because of that, she does have a right to see the child, but it came from a very dodgy place anyway, like pretending to be Marion, and all of that mess. It's like, oh my goodness. But she's also kind of proven that she's a bit all over the place, and her hatred for everyone but her baby would ultimately damage her baby in the end, you know, and that's going to be friends that, you know, she wouldn't be allowed to make when she grew up, because she'd probably just isolate that kid from everyone else, and she wouldn't be able to see any of her real family because they didn't get on with them, and that could be a whole mess. So it is kind of a big debate, you know, who should the baby, you know, spend their life with, really, grow up with? Should it be a bit of both? Should it just be, does someone visit on weekends? Does someone have them all the time? So I am intrigued to see exactly what the end goal is with the child and what they're going to do with that. Because surely it's not just going to be a baby for the rest of the show and that's just it. They don't really do much with it, because then what will be the point of that story? So I am intrigued to see what the end goal is going to be here, and is Zelena going to redeem herself in the way Regina did, and they're going to find kind of a happy medium with that? Is she just going to realise, oh, you know what, screw it, I'm going to be evil and team up with Hades again, and we're just going to forcefully take the baby again? That would be repeating the same storyline for like the third time this season, so I'm hoping that's not going to be the case. And I wouldn't mind them building towards some sort of redemption for Zelena, especially because they are doing the opposite with Gold, and they're just like, this is me, deal with it, Belle, soz. So it's not like they're giving, they're just handing out redemption to every single villain. So I wouldn't mind if they go down a similar route with Regina, not Zelena even, in the same way that they have with Regina. And again, they had that lovely scene where Regina was kind of saying, my enemies became my family, that's what made me happy again. Just another showcase of how far she's come, and I'd like to see her maybe pass it on to Zelena somehow, and I think Zelena took the tentative steps here towards that realisation and to being kind of a better person, not just for herself but for the baby as well, because she needs to put that first. But now this whole connection that she had with Hades could throw a spanner in the works. But I like that she assumed, just because it's what she would have done, and because they got on so well because they had such similar goals and they would do anything to kind of achieve those goals, she doubted Hades' love for her. And now when she and Belle got accidentally brought here, she just assumed, he wants the baby to get his revenge on his brother, even though it might have just been to protect her from everyone that Zelena hates. So that was a really interesting kind of twist on that, and to see where Zelena's going to lie, what side she may end up on. Is it going to be with Regina and everyone? Is it going to be with Hades? Is she just going to be on her own, like form her own little side, not really choose one? I'm really excited to see where that journey's going to take, and it is cool that Zelena's being properly brought back into the narrative again now, because she was absent for quite a bit. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where that all goes, and getting all of these motivations for Hades, why he's done what he has with the underworld, and what it all means. It's kind of just motivated by love. It's often the case, to be fair, once upon a time, so I probably shouldn't have been that surprised, but I'm excited to see what's going to happen with that, especially, I think if Zelena does have these feelings for Hades as well, that is genuine. How's she going to feel about Snow being like, right, we need to take Hades down right now, I'm fed up of not being home? So that's going to escalate all of that, and to see where she stands on that argument would be interesting as well. If Hades' motivations and feelings for her are pure, and this is why he's doing all of this, is Zelena going to want to help them stop him or not? Because probably not. So that's going to be really interesting to see how that all kind of pans out. But I loved everything with that. And Robin, I don't know about Robin's choice to be like, well, I've always felt most at home in the woods, so I'm going to take a baby to the woods. That seems a bit strange, but that baby might just be screwed either way, so we'll see what happens with that. But I like them kind of propelling that story forward a little bit, and Zelena realising she might be a bit of a danger to the baby right now, and she needs to work on herself very much so. But all of that exploration was really nice, and the flashbacks with Hades and Zelena as well, a very interesting pairing, and seeing Dorothy again, having the Scarecrow show up. I quite like the design of it as well. It was interesting that they didn't do like a live action version, and they just like CGI'd a Scarecrow, but I quite enjoyed that. I thought it looked quite interesting, and yeah, just tying back to the Oz roots and her spell and everything. That was fun to revisit that side of things, and to see her when she was full on, green skin, Wicked Witch of the West, is always a lot of fun. I imagine that's an absolute bloody nightmare, production wise, to have her in that all the time, so I understand why more often than not we don't see her with all the green. But it was cool that we got a good majority of her story in the flashbacks and stuff. She was just like that, so it was cool that they could commit to that for an episode or two. So yeah, that was fun. Henry as well, continuing to master his powers of being the author, I guess, not even realising when he is writing stuff or forgetting that he did it. So hopefully we get a bit more exploration of that power. But I like how they set that up, and then that tied into Snow and David's story in this one, them trying to contact Neil, so he could hear their voices. That was a neat little idea. Like, there could be like a connection to the real world from the underworld with that phone booth, but the thing is, you don't know if it works or not. And we had that guy who's like, oh, I hope I haven't wasted 30 years of my life trying to contact people that he loves. And it's nice to know that he probably didn't waste all those years, so that's fun. Unless he's like a serial killer who was then killed and is in the underworld now. Otherwise, I'm not particularly happy for him. But yeah, I liked their little story trying to get a message to Neil, and then we find out through Henry's side plot that he did hear them, and instead of hearing like the unicorns and stuff in the mobile, he heard them for a night and went to sleep. That's a really sweet kind of little side story. I liked that it gave them something little to do, and you know, there's a lot going on right now, and they are in kind of the place in between hell. So the fact that they took some time to have kind of a more wholesome storyline, much like Regina trying to check on Daniel, that was it. Was that? It's not David, Daniel. Regina trying to check on Daniel and see where he was a few episodes back. I like that they're doing kind of wholesome little side stories like that in between, just to break up all the angst and rage that we have going on. So I liked everything with that. And yeah, Belle showing up as well, finding out that she's pregnant, also learning, like they just, Gold was like, you know what, cards on the table, this is what's going on. I've sold our child to Hades, you're pregnant by the way, so I was also on the dark one again. And yeah, this is kind of, he's just very much owning who he is at this point. And I suppose when they've gone this far with the storyline and they've made him kind of somewhat redeem himself a bit and then just go full on evil again, they might as well just have him be like, yeah, this is how it's going to be. It stops it getting repetitive, I guess, if they just commit to something either way. So that's fine. Wasn't a big fan of him trying to frame it like, well, you know what you were getting into when you fell in love with me when I was the Beast and stuff. I'm like, yeah, but it didn't work out when you were the Beast, did it? Like, you still ended up separated and stuff. He was acting like they were perfectly happy when he was a dickhead, and remains to be, obviously. But he was like, well, you shouldn't have fallen in love with me then, should you? It felt very kind of like, well, it's all on you now, isn't it? If you want this relationship to work, I'm not going to work on it and work on myself. You need to do all the work and just accept me. So I'm not a big fan of that, I must say. My love for that pairing has dwindled in the past few seasons, just because, you know, they've presented it in a way that I'm just like, oh, I really think you both be better off with other people, and just thought Belle would be better off on her own. But I still think they'll probably have them working out, and I don't mind if they do that. But I am glad that they seem to have just stopped tiptoeing, like, what are we going to do with Gold's story? Are we going to redeem him or are we not? I like that they've just been like, okay, we flipped a coin, he's evil, and he's just accepting that. It's probably the best route to take, you know, when you're 5 seasons into this, going back and forth, you need to kind of come to a conclusion, and I think that's going to be what it is. And if he ever will change his ways, it'll probably be right at the end of the show, you know. But yeah, that was interesting to see how they're going to navigate that, with him kind of putting, you know, all the eggs are in your basket now, Belle, you make the choice. But she's like, bitch, please, I'm not making any decisions until we get the fuck out of here. This is your mess. And again, he didn't know this whole contract thing was going to come back and haunt him, but it has. So that is interesting, because they do now have that connection, come what may, even if they decide not to be together after all of this, because Belle can't accept that side of him, and I wouldn't if it were me. You know, the fact that he's just so unwilling to change, and he's like, no, this is who I am, just deal with it or don't. I'm just like, you're not going to fight for that relationship, sir, after everything? But yeah, the fact that they still are going to be linked, because at the end of the day, she's pregnant with his kid, so they're going to have some sort of relationship or connection. So that's interesting. And pairing that with, you know, Zelina and Robin and their baby, what's going on with all of that, there could be some interesting opportunities to parallel that in different ways. So I'm excited to see where all that heads. But yeah, another really great episode. I'm looking forward to seeing where Zelina's arc in particular is going to go, where she's going to land in this whole kind of mess with Hades, and are his intentions as pure as he's making them out to be? Is there going to be more to it? Is he still after his revenge or not? What's going on with that should be quite fun. And yeah, Henry continuing to use his author abilities now that he's got everything back there. What's he going to do with that? I thought the Snow and David little arc was really sweet. I like they've committed to Gold's kind of just, this is who I am now. I like they've actually made a decision with that. And you know, his action stuff, getting Zelina and Belle into the underworld so they can have stuff to do, is also a neat little thing. So I'm glad with all of that. I mean, it had another little scene showing how far Regina's come, which I'm always here for. I love that she called her enemies her family now. It's wholesome. But yeah, I'm excited to see where all this is going to be heading next. And yeah, I think that's going to be everything for now. But fantastic episode again. I'm really enjoying this arc still, and I'm sure they have even more treats for us with the next few episodes. So I'm excited for that. But until my next reaction, thanks for watching.